So here we are now. We're in rural Venezuela. We're up in the hills. We're moving some clients to a location. Going back to what we were saying about security driving, etc. Again, this is a different environment from the city, inner cities, urban areas. What we need to take into consideration here is we need to make sure the vehicles are serviceable before we move into these areas. Before we left, we made sure they're full of gasoline, they're in good condition, etc. If we break down up here, it's going to take a while, quite a while, for somebody to come and get us. We've got two vehicles. We could always move the clients on in one vehicle, but this means we're going to have to leave one vehicle here with a driver at least. If we leave a vehicle up here unattended, if we're lucky, the vehicle might be there in the morning, but I take it the wheels will be gone, anything of value will be gone, etc., etc. Worst case scenario, if we have issues with both vehicles, accidents, we got plenty of emergency kit in the vehicle. There's enough in our vehicle for a 48 hour stay out for everybody, us and the clients. Food, water, sleeping bags, etc., etc. It does get a little bit chilly up here. In addition to the threat, we also need to take into consideration the threat of bandits, criminals. There's not been much activity in this area recently. We checked all the reports before we left. We've done the threat assessment. But again, it's something else we need to take into consideration. As you see, again, these roads are very, very narrow. We got sheer rock on one side, and at the moment we've got a little bit of drop on the other, but that's a steep drop. In some places we got a sheer drop, so there's no way here we can do any evasive maneuvers. No way. All we could possibly do if we hit a roadblock would be to back up as quickly as possible, try and get through it. Hopefully it's not too well in place. We've sent an advance man ahead to check the road. We've had no reports of any problems, so we're pushing through this area as quickly as possible. In these rural areas, that's all you can really do, get the advance out and just move through as quickly as possible. But again, this is a very difficult area to operate in, and you're limited on what you can do. The sexy driving techniques, here if we tried something, I think we're going over the side, and I think there's quite a few 100-foot drop there at least. We might bounce a few times on the way down, but that would be about it. Yeah. So again, this is another environment for security driving, and it can be challenging, but the emphasis is on planning, preparation, avoiding the problems rather than any sexy techniques, etc. Heading back down into civilization. It's still got a long way to go, but one of the issues we're hitting now, these roads are very, very, very wet. So this is where vehicle maintenance comes into it. The vehicles have to have good tires. The vehicles have to be looked after. The vehicle's brakes have got to be in a good condition. You're going down here, and if you slip one way, you're going straight off the side. So at the moment we're in the clouds. We should be coming through in a minute, but this road's very, very wet. Somebody obviously had an accident behind us a couple of miles back because there was oil on the road, and again that can cause you problems. It's getting dark now. We're nearly about an hour away from where we need to be, but again, this is, if you're operating in a lot of countries, especially developing countries, this is the environments you can expect to encounter. And you see from here, there's no way that any of these evasive driving maneuvers would work. You just have not got the space. We've not had the space all day. We've gone from the traffic of Caracas, now we're in the hills, to narrow roads, country roads, and not really the most, if you want to put it that way, most friendliest environments for driving. But if you're operating, then you're not generally going to be in the most friendliest environments anyway. If people could, if things are easy, people are going to do it themselves. They're not going to hire us. Anyway, okay, we just dropped off at clients. I'm leaving an armored vehicle with them. We're heading back into Caracas because, as usual, we've got work tomorrow. We're going to be going back through the hills tonight, which we're capable of driving, no problems. The car's capable of handling. We checked the car. We checked the brakes. Made sure we got plenty of fuel. Again, we got the emergency kit in the vehicle. One of the differences between this and straight ahead. One difference between this and what we drive in the urban environment, we've got our windows open, our doors open. In the urban environment, we keep them locked so people can't open the car door, and nobody can throw something through the window. We're leaving the doors open in case we need to get out the car. Windows, we can climb through the windows, roll through the windows. In a case we crash, we need to get out the car quickly. And also if we need to react to a roadblock aggressively, it's going to make our reactions a lot faster. Will we have our lights on or lights off when we hit the hill? Well, it depends. We're not going to give too much away. There's pros and cons to both. Another advantage of having the windows open, we can use our other senses, hearing, sense of smell, etc, etc, etc. I'm sure people are going to be saying, why don't we use night vision? Well, the issue with night vision here is getting it. Chances are it's going to be looked upon as being very suspicious if you have it, especially if you got a gringo like me in the car. Why are we driving around with night vision equipment in the vehicle? So that can lead to more problems. So we'll go the low-tech route. One of the issues as well, from a security point of view, as we start hitting the hill, a lot of these little restaurants and bars, they're in league with the bad guys, they're in league with the bandits. So hopefully we're going back late enough that if somebody's going to try something, they're going to be drunk, etc, etc, so they're not going to be, our reaction's going to be a lot more aggressive and faster. But these little restaurants do tip off the bad guys that people are heading up the hills, into the hills, and then they can set up their roadblocks. But that's all part of life, and it needs to be, there's not much you can do about it. Even if we drove past these places with no lights on, they're still going to see us. But it's just part of it. So hopefully you've learned a little bit from this video, and that's about it. I'm sure we'll have a very uneventful trip back, at least I hope so.